me, Lucy Parsons. Welcome to today's show. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between personal statements for vocational university courses and academic university courses. And the reason I'm talking about this today is because I've got some special guest expert sessions for people who are signed up to my personal statement masterclass coming up between the 1st and 8th of July. So we're covering in these expert sessions some vocational topics such as personal statements for medicine or dentistry, personal statements for law, and personal statements for engineering. Now I've got some real experts coming to do these live sessions. So Artie Lodia is a biology tutor, but she used to work in a sixth form college, and she has extensive experience of preparing students for medicine and dentistry university applications. Then we've got Helen Chaplin, who is the lead academic coach on my team, and she used to be a lawyer before she became an English teacher, and again she has a huge amount of experience preparing students for law applications. And then finally, we've got Professor Will Whitto and Dr. Laura Justum of the School of Mechanical, Electrical and Manufacturing Engineering at Loughborough University on the 8th of July to talk about engineering personal statements. Now, I've picked out these three areas, medicine, dentistry, law and engineering, because they are the vocational subjects that I most often get asked for help with. So the personal statement masterclass as it stands without these masterclasses works brilliantly for all subjects, but I just wanted to get these specialist subjects a little bit of injection of this knowledge in there as well to really support students to an even higher level with these kind of applications. So we're going to talk a bit about that today and how vocational and academic applications are different. And this is an important distinction to understand so that you get your personal statement right, because there's a lot of information out there about personal statements, but you need to make sure that you're putting the right stuff into your personal statement for the subjects that you are applying for. So in today's podcast, you're going to learn what the difference is between vocational and academic university courses, what's different about applications for vocational university courses, why universities are looking for something different for vocational courses, and what's the same about vocational and academic university courses. So let's get started. So firstly, what's the difference between vocational and academic university courses? So vocational university degrees are ones that train a student for a particular job, giving them the skills they need to do this job. There are professions such as medicine, dentistry, law and engineering that university degrees train students for. There are also fields of work such as fashion or media where you can do a degree to prepare you for the job but aren't quite seen as professions. So they're fields of work and you can do a vocational degree to prepare you for them, but you don't necessarily get letters after your name like you do with medicine or a title like you do with medicine, dentistry, law and engineering. On the other hand, students can choose to do academic degrees. These are courses such as maths, history or English literature that don't have a specific application in the working world, but instead train students in skills such as critical thinking, research and analysis that can be applied across a wide range of jobs. So that's the difference between vocational university degrees and academic degrees. So what do you need to do differently in your personal statement if you're applying for a vocational course? All university courses are looking for applicants to demonstrate their passion for and commitment to their chosen course. However, this looks slightly different if you're applying for vocational degree courses. The main difference is that vocational degree courses will be looking for work experience as a requirement, whereas for academic courses, work experience is an optional extra. So why do vocational courses require work experience? Going through the process of doing one or more work experience placements enables students to see if they really do want to invest years of their time and tens of thousands of pounds of their money in training to do that particular job. If a student does work experience and finds that they really don't like the day-to-day existence of the vocation they thought they wanted, so for example, if they go and have work experience with a doctor and it's not at all what they thought that life would be like and they don't like what they see, it basically filters people out, leaving more places for people who are 100% committed to that particular vocation. So how much work experience do students need for vocational courses? The amount of work experience a student needs varies according to how competitive the course they're applying for is. So for example, students applying for veterinary medicine will need a lot more work experience than someone applying for a media course at a lower ranking university. However, the more work experience you have, the more committed you'll look to your vocation in your application, and the more sure you'll be that this is the right path for you. This is a winning combination for being offered places. To find out the details of what each university and course are looking for, look at their websites, attend their open days, and ask questions by email or phone. The best way to know you're meeting their requirements is to know what their requirements are. Now, it's worth saying as well at this point that some of the requirements for things like medicine were relaxed during the pandemic because people couldn't do face-to-face work experience in that environment. But there was some virtual work experience that was organised. So you do need to understand what is still required of students, what does that look like, how do they get it, and make sure they're still meeting the requirements in the changing circumstances of the pandemic. And I've got another blog post and video which I've linked to from today's show notes, which you'll find at lifemoreextraordinary.com/vocational, that explains how to get work experience for your personal statement. So if you're suddenly realising that you need to get work experience, then that blog post and video can help you. Okay, let's finally talk about what's the same about applying for vocational and academic degrees. So whether you're applying for a vocational or academic degree, there is one thing that you have to do in your personal statement to be successful in getting a place. What is it? It's demonstrating critical engagement with all the supercurricular activities you've done. Now, supercurricular activities are things like work experience that you do to demonstrate your passion and commitment to the subject you want to study at university. And I've got a blog post that explains more about that, which you can find if you visit today's show notes at lifemoreextraordinary.com/vocational. So, for example, if you're applying to study medicine and you've watched an operation taking place during your work experience, in your personal statement, you can't just say, I observed an emergency caesarean section. Instead, you need to show that you've thought about the circumstances surrounding the operation, you've read up on the surgical process, and you're thoughtful and reflective about your experience. You would need to do the same thing if you were applying to do a history degree, and instead of observing an operation, you'd read a specific book. So you can't just say, I read The History of the Russian Revolution by Trotsky, like one of my clients has done. Like he hasn't written his personal statement yet, but he has read that book. Instead, you'd need to show how you'd put that book into context what questions it made you ask, and what you read next as a result. So why do you need to demonstrate critical engagement even for vocational courses? The main difference between school level study and university level study is your ability to think deeply about what you're learning, critically engage with it, and develop your own arguments and opinions. This is really the focus of university level study. Whether you're applying for a vocational or academic degree, you will need to show that you have the potential and ability for critical engagement. Otherwise, it would be better for the university to give the place that could have been yours to someone else. Okay, so after listening to this, what should you do next? So now you know the main distinction between vocational and academic courses. Start having a detailed look at the requirements of your chosen courses so that you know what to do to meet those requirements. My personal statement masterclass can help you read between the lines of university's requirements for particular courses. So inside the masterclass, there is a video that specifically looks at some university websites and how to actually read it and understand what they're saying, reading between the lines, so that you can be confident that you are demonstrating that you've met those requirements in your personal statement. The masterclass does an awful lot else as well, including helping you choose which courses, helping you choose the right supercurricular activities to boost your application, and helping you to structure, write and edit your application so that you are demonstrating your critical engagement. But, those requirements, really reading between the lines, is one of the key steps, and it's important that you know that I can offer you that help. So that's what the Personal Statement Masterclass does. It helps everybody, no matter what course you're applying for, so long as it's an undergraduate course. It is not appropriate for people applying for postgraduate degrees. But if you do want to study medicine, dentistry, law or engineering, then please do sign up to take part in the specialist live masterclasses that we're doing for those subjects. And once you've listened to those, you can then work through the framework that everybody will work through in the Personal Statement Masterclass to put together your personal statement in way less time and with way less stress. Okay, I really hope that this episode of the School Success Formula has helped you understand the difference between vocational and academic university applications and what you need to do differently. If you've got any questions about the Personal Statement Masterclass and the events that we're holding at the beginning of July 2021, please do drop us a line on hello@lifemoreextraordinary.com, and either myself or a member of my team will get back to you and answer your question for you. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful day and goodbye.